Hello everyone, welcome back to All Financial Discussion channel. For this video, I'm going to continue the discussion on building up your retirement fund. This video, I will target someone who is 45 to 50 years old. So firstly, if you are in Singapore, in fact, we have this CPF which can complement our retirement plan. So this video later on, I will explain, for example, when you reach 55 years old, your SA will be closed and RA will be created. So basically this video later part, I will quickly go through on this. Nevertheless, the most important for this video, I'm going to discuss your retirement fund, how to build up with growth and also the value stock. So this will be the objective of this video. If you have been following me, you probably have seen this table numerous times. But for this video, I'm going to focus on someone who is in between 45 to 50 years old. So this is my suggestion. I suggest to put 50% onto the growth stock, 50% onto the value stock. Why? The growth stock will help you to fight against inflation and also building up your principal, while the value stock will give you a passive income. So at this age, it is always very important to have the balance of this growth stock and also value stock. This is what I suggest earlier on, 50% onto the growth stock. Typically, for me, I actually classify into 3 tiers of growth stock. But this video, in fact, I have 4 tiers of growth stock. For me, at this age, 45 to 50 years old, I will say no go for crypto investment because crypto investment, in fact, is a very risky move. So therefore, at this age, I don't recommend to put your money into crypto investment. Next, over here, you can see that I further classified the growth stock into 3 tiers. One is under the risky growth stock, which I think and suggest 10%. Next, on the convention growth stock, 20%. Last but not least, on the very safe ETS growth stock, which I also assign 20%. So this is how I allocate my fund on the growth stocks. Let me explain my choice on the risky growth stock, which is 10%. Over here, you can see that there are actually 2 tiers of growth stock, risky growth stock, speculative tech and the next generation disruptor. For this speculative tech, over here, you can see that there are in fact 4 of them. Why I decided to choose Coinbase now is because I'm not sure whether you know that there is a Clarity Act in US, which I think will pass this year. So therefore, for me, I actually want to put my bet onto Coinbase, which is on crypto. So this is my first risky growth stock, 5% on Coinbase. Next, on the next generation disruptor, again, I will focus on Tesla. Why? Because from here you can see that Tesla starts to diversify. So not longer they make just EV car, they also focus on AI and also robotics. So with this, in fact, I am quite confident that Tesla shares will do well. So therefore, for me, I will next allocate 5% onto Tesla. So this is how I allocate my fund on the risky growth stock. Next, let me explain my position on the convention growth stock, which is 20%. Over here, you can see that there are either the AI leaders or there are niche tech leaders. So these are in fact still considered the very safe growth and they are still growing, but you can actually see that they actually are already profitable giant. So this is how I allocate convention growth stock. 5% onto NVIDIA, they actually dominate the AI chips. 5% on the Microsoft, they are in the cloud and also the AI business. Next, Alphabet, which is Google, 5%, they actually concentrate on the apps, for example, like YouTube, and also on the AI. Last but not least, on Amazon, 5%. You probably heard about this AWS cloud, and they also have this AI-driven logistics. So this is how I allocate my convention growth stock. I know some of you probably will ask me, why don't allocate to Apple? Why don't allocate to Meta? So the reason why I don't allocate to Apple is because recently, the CEO changed and I do not understand his business so-called idea currently. So therefore, it is safer not to allocate onto Apple at this moment. And also on Meta, in fact, I see that there is a lot of competitions onto apps. In fact, most of the business for Meta is on advertise for Facebook, for example. You can see that they have very severe competition from TikTok and also from YouTube. So therefore, because of this, I actually don't put my conventional growth stock onto Meta. So this is the reason why. At this age, 45 to 50 years old, diversification is always very important. So therefore, for my very safe growth stock, I will allocate 10% on Vanguard Growth ETF and also Invesco QQQ Trust 10%. So this is my last allocation on the growth stock. For me, as I explained earlier on, okay, the key reason at this age, 45 to 50 years old, you need to emphasize a lot on diversification. So over these two baskets, in fact, they diversify, as you can see from here. You can see that for Invesco QQQ, they actually diversify on mainly on the tech-heavy growth. So basically with this, I am done with my growth stock discussion. A quick disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advice. This video is for entertainment and education purpose only and should not be considered financial advice. Please conduct your own independent research and consult a professional if needed. Never invest more than you are willing to lose. With this, let's continue the discussion. But before, I would like to urge you guys to help me by like this video. When more you guys actually help me to like this video will have a better chances to reach out to a larger audience. So guys, help me press the like button now. For those who are new to this channel, and if you have learned something from this video, hope you can support me by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for your strong support. Now, let me focus on value stock, which is 50%. How I actually allocate this 50% onto the value stock is as following. Bank, I will put 20%. Risk, I will put 15%. As for defensive, I will put another 15%. The reason why I choose risk and banks is because they actually complement each other. So for example, if interest rate rise, bank will be doing well. So when interest rate drop, risks will be doing well. So therefore, from here you can see that banks and risks, they actually complement each other. So basically, this is how I choose my value stock to diversify my risk. Let's come to the Singapore bank first. How I actually allocate my fund. So from here, you can see that I still emphasize a lot on DBS brand. They in fact have diversified their business. So therefore, I actually want to allocate slightly more on DBS, which is 10%. The rest of the Singapore bank, I will have 5% onto OCBC, 5% onto UOB. So this is how I allocate on Singapore banks for the value stock. Keep this in mind, value stock in fact will command a dividend. So this can be a very passive income for your retirement in the future. Next, on the risk, how I actually allocate my risk fund. Okay, so definitely Capital Land Integrate Commercial Trust will be one of my key choice for Singapore risk. I will put 5%. Next, on Mapletree's Logistics, another 5%. Last but not least, on Ascender's risk, which is on 5%. Over here, you can see that this REIT, in fact, command a higher dividend as compared to Singapore Bank. Okay, so therefore, so if the interest rate further cut, in fact, you can see that they probably will give a more attractive dividend yield. So this is how I allocate my fund, 15% onto Singapore REITs. Last but not least, in terms of defensive for the value stock, okay, I will put 15% okay, onto this defensive stock. How I actually allocate the fund. First one will be the Capital Infrastructure Trust, which is 5%. Over here, you can see that, in fact, Capital Infrastructure Trust has the highest dividend yield as compared to Singapore Bank and also Singapore REITs. Next, I will concentrate mainly on the defensive, which is on Sembcorp Industry and ST Engineering. You can take this ST Engineering is something in between the growth and also the value stock. So although they actually has very little dividend yield, but you can classify them as growth stock, or if not, you can imagine that something so-called conflict, for example, at this moment, okay, the Middle East conflict, ST Engineering, in fact, is still doing very well. So this is how I allocate my value stock. 20% onto Singapore banks, 15% on Singapore REITs, and last but not least, 50% on my defensive. Next, I'd like to discuss on CPF, how CPF can actually complement our retirement. But before that, let me explain what will happen when we actually reach 55 years old. I'd like to discuss what happened to your CPF when you actually reach 55 years old and also 65 years old. This is the official CPF website, www.cpf.gov.sg. So when you actually come to this official CPF website, you have this retirement income. So basically you click on this retirement income, and over here you can see that this is what I want to discuss firstly when we actually reaching the age of 55. So over here, okay, there will be a detailed explanation what happened when you actually reach 55 years old. When you actually reach 55 years old, a new account will be created. This new account is actually known as retirement account, RA. They will be created for you automatically, and what you previously have, which is the special account, SA, they will be closed when you actually reach 55 years old. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss, okay, in more details. Okay, so this is what I mentioned earlier on. When we actually reach 55 years old, okay, we will have a new account, which is RA, and our SA account will be closed. I know you guys probably will ask me, what happened to my money in the SA account? Okay, I'll come into this shortly. Before I go in depth to discuss, okay, how the money transfer from SA to RA, okay, I need you guys to understand what is this full retirement sum, FRS. Okay, so in short, if you are able to achieve this full retirement sum, then you will be able to enjoy a better payout in a money basis. So basically, this is actually the minimum requirement in order to enjoy the more benefit in terms of payout in a money basis. So basically, this FRS actually different in every years. So let's click into this full retirement sum. So over here, you can see that every year, this full retirement sum actually change. So now we are in the year of 2025. So this FRS is 213K. So in short, if you are able to achieve this 213K, okay, basically you will be able to enjoy a better payout in a money basis. So this is in terms of this full retirement sum. Okay, let's come to this again. Okay, so this is what I have mentioned. Okay, so saving in the retirement account, they will be earning the same interest rate as your SA, which is 4%. Okay, so the interest rate will be the same. The key difference for me, okay, so basically in the old days, you can still draw a withdrawal from your SA account. However, for RA account, you are not allowed to do any form of withdrawal. Okay, so basically this is to have a money payout when you actually retire, when you actually reach 65 years old. You are not allowed to draw anything from RA. As for SA, okay, we can do some form of investment. We can also have some form of withdrawal, okay, when we actually reach, let's say, 65 years old. Okay, but this is the key changes between the RA and SA. Okay, so next, I'm going to explain that your SA will be closed when you actually reach 55 years old. What happened? Okay, so basically, the money will be so-called transferred from SA to RA. Okay, let me explain this. So let's say there will be, in fact, two scenarios. Let's say your SA is more than this full retirement sum. Okay, remember this full retirement sum allowed you to enjoy a better so-called payout in a money basis. So let's say your SA is more than 213K. Then, okay, 213K will be transferred from your SA to your RA. Okay, so this is what happened. So if you have more than the amount of the full retirement sum, then the amount will be moved from SA to RA. Anything that is outstanding, okay, anything that is more, okay, they will be transferred to your OA account. Okay, so this is actually what happened. So another scenario is your SA is less than this full retirement sum. What will happen? Then all your money in your SA will be transferred to your RA, and probably some from your OA will be transferred over to your RA. Hopefully, will be able to achieve this full retirement sum. Okay, so basically, this is what will happen on your SA. Basically, your SA will be closed. All your money will be transferred either to the RA, or maybe if you are lucky, okay, some will be able to transfer to the OA. Depend how much you have in terms of so-called cash in your SA. Next, okay, let's do a little bit more discussion on this retirement sum here. Okay, so what is this retirement sum? Okay, I will have another video to describe in more detail on this. But over here, you can see that what is the retirement sum? There are actually three tiers of retirement sum. One is the basic retirement sum. One is the full retirement sum. Another one is the enhanced retirement sum. In short, this gives you the lesser payout. This gives you the best possible payout. So basically, this is what we want to achieve, but we need to have more premium in the RA in order to have this enhanced retirement sum. Again, like I mentioned earlier on, I will have another separate video to further discuss the key difference between these three. Okay, so this video, I just want to highlight the key difference, okay, when we actually reach 55 years old, what will actually happen to your CPF. Okay, so basically this is another thing that will be changed. There will be an increase in the maximum top up that you can actually receive. Okay, why there is an increase in terms of the top up? Because like I mentioned earlier on, this enhanced retirement sum, okay, will be having the best possible money payout, but you need to do a lot of top up. If let's say your RA, you don't have enough fund, so you need to do some top up in order to achieve this enhanced retirement sum. Okay, so basically this is the another difference that is highlighted in the CPF website here. The third one is withdraw for immediate retirement need. Okay, so after you set aside your FRS, okay, which means that you achieve 213, let's say you actually retire in 2025. Okay, so basically once you actually set aside your money into this FRS, okay, in your RA, okay, you will be able to withdraw your excessive saving in your OA, okay, which means that anything more you can consider to withdraw them out. So if you are unable to set aside your FRS, okay, which means that you don't manage to achieve, let's say the minimum 213K, then you may be still able to withdraw up to 5K from age 55. Okay, so basically, this is what is going to happen when we actually reach the age of 55. Let's come into 65. What will happen when we actually reach the age of 65? Okay, so what are the key decisions? Okay, so basically, when we actually reach the age of 65, we need to decide, okay, when we are going to so-called receiving the payout. Okay, so we can actually start to have receiving the payout anytime between 65 and 70. Okay, so deferring your payout will allow you to receive higher payout in the future. Okay, but honestly speaking, I don't see why you want to defer your payout. For me, I think that it would be good that you can receive your payout as soon as possible. Really, for me, I don't see why you want to defer your payout so as to able to achieve higher payout in the future. Okay, so this is my personal opinion. Okay, so next, okay, which CPF life payout suit you? Remember, there are actually three tiers. Okay, so basically, this CPF life provide you with lifelong payout. Okay, which means that you don't need to worry. Okay, it's a lifelong commitment. Okay, so you are not so-called worried. You don't require to be worried that you're actually running out of the saving in your retirement. So this is actually for lifelong. So you can choose from three CPF life plan based on your desired retirement life basis here. So your RA account will be used to pay the premium for your chosen CPF life plan. Okay, so basically this is something I would say that is the most transparent for us. So our RA account, they will help to pay the premium for our CPF life plan. Okay, so this is the second thing that you need to take note when you actually reach the age of 65. How much payout you want? Okay, the more RA, okay, saving that you have, the more payout you are going to enjoy. Okay, so basically to enjoy, this is strongly recommend to enjoy higher payout, you can top up your RA, okay, up to the current enhanced retirement sum. So this is what I mentioned. If possible, okay, you can actually start to save, okay, towards your preferred so-called retirement sum, not necessarily enhanced retirement sum. Okay, so this enhanced retirement sum will definitely allow you to have a better payout in a monthly basis, but not really necessary. Okay, so this is actually on this age 65, what happened to your CPF? Now, let's go a little bit in depth to do some planning, okay, for my retirement plan. So basically, you can just click on this over here. Okay, so basically, this is to click this start planning. Okay, so these are all the requirement over here. So what you need to do is you can click this I have read and understand the term and uses. Then you put this start. Okay, so you need to log in using your SingPass. Okay, so let me quickly log in using my SingPass. Okay, so basically this is to me. Okay, so basically this is so-called calculation based on my requirement. Okay, so basically, firstly, you need to set your retirement income goal. So basically, you just imagine how much you need when you actually retire. Okay, I'm actually 50 years old this year. Okay, so let's say I plan to have 3,005, okay, which means that at current stage, okay, I need 3,005 in a money basis for me to retire. Okay, so basically this is what it means. I need 3,005 in order for me to retire. So I just click this update goal. Okay, so over here you can see that, okay, I actually plan that to have 3,005 monthly for me to retire, okay, now, currently. So they actually projected, okay, when I actually at age 65, which is 15 years later, and they actually factor in this 2% of inflation, which means that 3,005 become 4,720 15 years later. As I mentioned, I'm actually 50 this year. So this is the amount that I actually need, okay, in order for me to retire and enjoy the same benefit, which is at 3.5K currently. Okay, so basically I need 4.7K, okay, 14720 in order to enjoy the same benefit that I think I need in order to retire at 65. Okay, so next over here, there are actually three tiers. Okay, but okay, let me explain this. This is what we call the growing money. Okay, which means that they start lower. Okay, initially the money payout is actually lower. Then after that, with time, they actually increase. So this is what I mean, which means that the money actually will increase with time. Okay, so basically the payout will increase with time. This is to have a steady, which means that the payout actually remain constant. This is with the payout, they're actually going lesser and lesser. So basically, when in the early part of your year of retirement, 65, you are going to have the best possible payout. So along the year, along the time, your payout actually reduce. But for this case, your payout actually increase. For me, okay, I think I always want to have a predictable so-called manner for my retirement. So I will choose this steady payout when uh the price will remain constant throughout my retirement. And then basically from here, you can just click next. Okay, so basically, am I on track to meet my objective at age 65? Okay, so basically, this is what they have calculated, okay, based on 3,005 now. Okay, when another 15 years, 3,005 will be like around 4,720. Okay, so basically, this is what they have calculated. Okay, so in order to achieve this 4,720, okay, so it is recommend, okay, inside your RA, you need to have close to 900K in order to have this money payout 4.7K. Okay, in order, then you need to have your RA to have around, okay, in fact, it's almost 900K. Okay, so these are the way that you can so-called lower your lifestyle, etc. If this is not enough, let's come to be a little bit more personalized projection. Okay, so this is calculate. Okay, let's say I'm having a monthly salary of 10,000 per month now. I have additional of so-called bonus, which is 35K per year. Increment 1%. I think nowadays is very challenging to have 1% of increment. Okay, I will say that nowadays increment can be as low as 0.5. So okay, so this is personal information. Okay, for me, I have under the SA around 284K here. So basically, I can click this projected pay up. So once I catch this projected pay up over here, they have another report. Okay, so basically they calculate that they mention over here. So with my so-called SA amount, let's say 100% all transfer to my RA. Okay, so every month I will be able to receive this 3.2K now currently. Okay, so but my payout that I actually want to achieve is 4.7. So I actually has a shortfall of 1.4K or close to 1.5K. So which means that I need to have additional 286K inside my RA so that I will be able to receive a money payout of 4.7K over here. So basically, these are all the very useful tools at the CPF website that you can actually use to so-called to plan for your retirement.